to continue into our conversation of fascia. October has been fascia month at Art of Alignment Academy. And I want to engage you today into a conversation around this topic of holistic healing and fascia. Holistic healing and fascia, meaning holistic healing is a daily practice that I want to invite you in. It's a daily practice of us taking small steps towards improving the quality of our lives. You know, I think that the world is pretty much in a space of huge universal transformation, not just our world, but the universe. Politics, dichotomies, people fighting. There's certainly wars going on in the world right now. And holistic healing is a methodology. It's a way for you to move into more alignment, more health, more balance. And all of these things that I teach you in mind-body alignment are tools for you to integrate this into your daily life so that you become the healer of your life. Good morning. Sophia is here from Italy. Hi, Sophia. Thank you for joining us. Welcome everyone who's coming on to the call right now, who is joining us. If you want to say hi in the comments, please do. It's always great for me to know who's here. Hey, Anali is here. Good morning. Good morning, Anali. It's wonderful to have you with us. So I want to move into this conversation of holistic healing because what I'm seeing, what I've been seeing over the past 20 plus years, I have been, working as a coach, a mind-body alignment coach for 30 years, a long time in different areas of mind-body alignment, and a Hellerwork practitioner for almost 20 years now. 16 to be exact. And what I've seen, and especially as people get older, is that unless you make a decision to take charge of your life today and to start to tweak little things, your nutrition, your way of thinking, your daily rituals, being out in sunlight, the simplest things, the simplest tools will help us to get into a holistic system of healing, meaning you as a whole person, your mind, your body, your spirit, and your emotions. And there are some very simple tools that I have taught over the past, I think it's a year and a half now that I've been doing this consistently every Monday. Yay, we've been doing this for a year and a half almost. And so what I'm seeing is that those of you who are engaging into these practices are changing your lives. You're happier no matter the conditions around you. You can continue to create into the direction of your dreams, to create what you want to see occur in your life with more ease, with more flow. Because to be honest with you, it doesn't look like things are going to necessarily get better anytime soon, right? The global platform, the global stage, the media, what we're being thrown at doesn't look like it's getting better. And at the same time, there are these amazing movements. Actually, Sophia, who's on the call with us today, is one of those people who is generating new energy in the artistic community. She is creating magnificent work. She designs and creates portfolios for artists to present themselves in the world as they truly are. So there are these people in the world who are creating magic, who are continuing to believe in themselves, in their dreams, and in creating what they want from their center. And that is part of holistic healing, my friends. So it's a sense of you choosing, making decisions, wiser decisions for yourself to move out of toxic environments, for example, to move into a higher level of consciousness conversation. And the work that I do on a daily basis, in addition to my coaching clients, is really to help people come into physical alignment, because this beautiful flesh suit, this is what takes us through life. So if you're suffering from depression, If you're suffering from anxiety, if you're worried, when you watch the news, if you feel your nervous system get activated, it's so important for you to learn to actually step away, cut off from any type of toxic energy around you. This is rule number one for holistic healing. There are many other things, but the first thing, in order for you to come into alignment and to find inner peace, the truth is, it's up to us. We have people around us, we have friends, we have family who care and love us. The bottom line is that it's really up to us to pull ourselves together, to really choose to come in alignment and to take full responsibility for our lives. There are so many options today that are available to us, whether it's classes like these, or you can YouTube pretty much anything that you need help with in this day and age. So I want to help you do a mindset shift so that you start to believe in the philosophy of possibility. There is a way to move through the drudge. There is a way to move through the pain, through the worry. And you know what happens when you commit to a daily holistic healing ritual? And I'll tell you what mine is in a moment. What starts to happen is that you become younger. You actually become more vital. And this is the single most important thing for all of us, to increase our level of vitality. To increase our level of vitality by tapping into our bodies, by listening more deeply to what is arising within our bodies. Because this system of communication, your whole body is a real system of communication, and fascia, the deep layers of fascial tissue that move throughout your body, that envelop your muscles and bones and organs, also that is the carrier of blood in your body, your nervous system. This is kind of like an electrical conduit of information that moves through your body. And the better you get at listening more deeply to this conduit of electrical impulses inside of your body, the more alive you become. This is because when something arises that leaves you feeling uncertain or sad or off balance, the more you can come into center and listen to what is arising in the moment, the more you can respond appropriately. So you're not at the mercy of what's occurring outside in the world. Rather, you are much more deeply connected to what vibrational frequency is occurring within your body. So I want you to start to explore this for yourself and get curious. Get curious about yourself. What are these parts of you that are showing up, that are maybe the sad part of you, or the protector part of you, or the little girl, little boy part of you, or the controller part of you? To start a conversation, to get curious about what are these parts of you that arise at different times, that show up in a specific way, depending on where you find yourself, what types of conversations you're having, how you have to care maybe for an elderly parent or a sibling. Start to get curious. Ask questions as to when these conditions, these moods, these parts of you arise. So for example, I'll give you a specific example about myself. I'm going to go back to the daily holistic healing practice. This is something that we can all do on a daily basis. I will tell you what mine is, and it varies a little bit, but for the most part, I've been doing this for many, many years. The first thing is to take my morning elixir. What do? I boil hot water with lemon, turmeric, and sometimes I have a few of my let's say amino acids, or I'll put in a little bit of magnesium, and all of these components. This is the first thing that I do in the morning. And then I immediately, or sometimes what I'll do is I'll immediately roll out of bed and go outside to catch the first rays of light. That enlivens me. That's what I did this morning. So before my elixir, my hot water and lemon, I actually just put my clothes on. I immediately went outside and got some sunlight in the daytime. So I just took a walk around the park in my neighborhood. That already set me up for a successful morning. And then I had my hot water and lemon. Then I do 30 minutes of reading, something inspirational, something that connects with me. And in fact, I'm going to share with you what I was reading with you this morning in a moment. And then I'll take about 30 minutes and I'll write down all of my thoughts. I use an app called 750 Words. You can find it online, it's free. And I just type away until I hit 750 words. And now it's easier. So I go to about 1,500 words. And it's kind of a brain dump, right? To open up the channels of communication. Again, your fascia, your connective tissue, which is that organ of communication, gets to relax and release as you read something inspirational, as you do your writing, as you drop to the floor and roll on your foam roller. This morning I was using my balls. So I was rolling because I was feeling some cricks in my neck. And I thought, oh, as soon as I do this and I roll for just 10, 15 minutes, I am enlivened. And I do this every single day. This is holistic well-being, is to commit to a practice every single day. And of course, there are some days that you're going to miss, you're going to falter, you're going to skip over because you didn't sleep well, because your child needs you in the morning. It's okay. Always come back to center. This is why I talk about center, and we're going to go there in a minute because I want to talk to you about the work that I do, which is Hellerwork Structural Integration. And this is a type of body work that goes beyond the conventions of simply touch or massage. It's a deeper body of work that touches deep inside of your body physically, right? So there's the truth about touch on the superficial layers of the body. And then there are these deeper layers of consciousness that move and wave back and forth within your body. And this work is just an absolute genius development. This was developed by Dr. Ida Rolf. So you might have heard of Rolfing. And Rolfing over the years has had a pretty bad rap as being a very painful experience. And for some people, it has been a very painful experience. Hellerwork is, I would say, a different type of approach to Rolfing. It really consists specifically in body work, in receiving body work from a fascial alignment perspective. So I am working with your largest organ of communication by realigning your entire body from the tip of your head to the tip of your toes. This is done over a series of 10 to 12 sessions. So there's physical alignment, there's body work, there's touch, and this is a very specific methodology, modality that is taught through the Hellerwork training. There is also an important component of therapeutic dialogue. And what Joseph Heller, he is the creator of Hellerwork, and he took the wisdom of Dr. Ida Rolf from the Rolfing series, from the bodywork series, and he added a component with the therapeutic dialogue, which is to incite the person receiving bodywork to allow themselves to get into a space of deep presence, deep relaxation, and through a very specific therapeutic inquiry, so we get curious about the sensations that arise, the body starts to speak for itself. So the body will speak its pain, will speak its unresolved emotions and traumas. And then finally, there is also very specific movement patterning that we explore together to help you to get out of those patterns that you've been in for many, many years. Because here's the thing that happens with the body, with the mind, with the belief, with your spiritual development. We become who we are. we become who we are today. You are the culmination of all the years of your life, of who you have become today. So it's normal that your body is going to move into certain patterns. If physically, if you're at the computer all day long, I was just with a client yesterday and realizing that being at the computer all day long, you don't think about it, but before you know it, you're really kind of starting to sit in this way much more frequently than you would like. Well, this is going to put a lot of pressure on your neck, protruding your head forward and also closing down your chest and your diaphragm. Therefore, you can't breathe properly. So if you're compressed, it's going to be very difficult for you to move into full expression of who you are. And this is why this body work and this type of work is so incredible, because it addresses those specific parts of the body as each item, right? So in a way, what we say is that I dissect each part of you. So at the end, we put you all back together. And this is what we do a lot of the time with the coaching programs, with the mind-body alignment. I'm going to pause and say good morning to Leanne. Hello, Leanne. Welcome. Happy belated birthday. I know it was a birthday of yours recently. Thank you for being here. Welcome to our class this morning. So I want to share a little bit of what I was reading this morning. And this is a book that my teacher, Joseph Heller, wrote many years ago, which is very, very relevant today. It's called Bodywise. Bodywise. And it came out in 1986 was the first edition of it. So these are old books, old concepts. And the reason I'm emphasizing this is because none of what you are learning today on social media in relationship to fascia or holistic healing, none of it is new. This is all old news. Many of us have been doing this for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. And of course, the knowledge of this work comes from thousands of years ago, soaked into the development of Ayurvedic medicine, out of Buddhism, meditation, out of Chinese traditional medicine. Today, we have access to all of these things via social media, and you can learn so much more about it. But to be honest with you, everything that you're reading, especially about fascia, about the nervous system, none of it is new, although it's new for many people because now it's broadcasted everywhere all the time. So get curious, my friends. Get curious about your body so that you don't fall into the depths of your emotions when they are negative emotions. What I mean by that is if you're having a hard day, or if you feel like you're never going to be able to get out of a certain situation, to pause for a moment. Remember that everything changes. Our bodies change, our mindset changes, our religious beliefs change. We want that to happen. We want to evolve into higher consciousness. If you're not changing throughout your life, there's probably a little bit of sticky stuff in there. In bodywork, the bodywork that I do, we call that adhesions, that your connective tissue gets stuck and it gets gluey. And so you can't process information properly because you have sticky spaces in your body, sticky spaces in your viscera. And when you develop enough sticky spaces in your viscera, for example, in your digestive system, that causes a backup, which shows up as either constipation or diarrhea. It can show up in your gastrointestinal tract as excessive phlegm, mucus. All of these components are based on patterns and habits that have developed over years. So if you're in your 50s or 60s, or even your late 40s, and you have not necessarily had a relationship with holistic practices throughout your life, life can become difficult because you start to develop conditions. You start to develop, let's say, headaches or migraines or TMJ. You start to grind your teeth, or you start to develop a problem with your lymphatic system, with your sweat glands. You either sweat profusely or you don't sweat at all. You always have bloating in your stomach, or you develop back pain. All of these conditions is part of the natural process of human evolution. Our bodies change. If you are not mindful of what you ingest in your mouth, through your eyes, what you're looking at literally, in your mind, in your brain, in your heart, if you are not mindful of what you are putting into your system on a daily basis, this is how you develop conditions as time goes on. So it's very important to be able at this point in your life to remain curious and to look toward what you don't know. Get curious about learning, about finding out new things. This is why I want to talk to you about the power of Hellerwork Structural Integration, and also to see your body, mind, spirit as a whole, as a completeness of who you are, and to see the body beyond its mechanisms, but as a true miracle of life, so that you start to engage with your body. I cannot tell you how many times my clients will say to me, well, Anne-Marie, if I start to talk to myself, I'm going to sound crazy. Or if I talk to my heart, like, I will encourage my clients to pause and to talk to your heart and check in with your heart. How are you feeling this morning? How are you feeling, heart? How are you emotionally? To take the time to pause and to check in with yourself, because your heart will respond. The more you do this, the more your heart will respond. And sometimes your heart will have a lot of grief in it. Sometimes your heart will be very sad. And what I want to encourage you to do when that shows up is for you to pause and to allow for the grief and the sadness to arise. Don't throw it away. Don't move through it. Just sit and pause and listen, because the more you are able to listen to your body's conversation, the more you can heal yourself, because you can listen, connect, and in response to your heart grieving, you can soothe yourself and say things like, I hear you. I'm here for you. I support you. Let's grieve together. Let's grieve together. Let's be sad together. And in this process of grieving with yourself, when you're going through hard times, this assists you to literally move through the grief, as opposed to you shying away from experiencing it. Because if you're not in touch and if you're not experiencing what you're going through in life, it accumulates in your body. This is how we get backed up in the body. So if there's too much grief in your body, and if there's too much sadness, and there's no time to listen and to care for oneself, you're going to start to cry or react in a certain way in a very unusual environment, right? Or in an environment where you would not be expected to cry or feel super sad, because you're carrying that sadness with you all the time. And what we want to do is to process the emotion. And the first step in processing the emotion is to pause and to listen. Is to pause and to listen. Does this make sense to you all? Give me a little yes in the comments if you're connecting. Maybe you have a question about this, and I'm happy to interact with you. So just let me know if this makes sense. Does this resonate with you? So I want to read you a little passage from Bodywise, from this book. And this is from the chapter that's called The Body's Role in the Structures of Consciousness. The body's role in the structures of consciousness. The body and the world. There's an ancient Chinese story related to Chuang Tzu of a Taoist butcher who had who had not had his knives sharpened for 20 years. Yet they were as finely honed as they had been on the day they were new. When the local king heard of this remarkable phenomenon, he had the butcher brought before him and asked him how such a miracle was possible. The butcher explained that an ordinary cook has to sharpen his knives every month because he hacks at his meat, while a good cook has only to sharpen his knives every year because he cuts and carves. But he himself was in the way, and wherever his knife blade went, the flesh was already parting, and so his blades never wore down. Many forces affect us all the time. When we are at ease and at peace and in balance with our circumstances, we experience those forces as complementary, and our blades can last for years and years. When we are not in harmony with the world around us, we experience the forces as antagonistic. And the conflict between them results in friction that tires us out and wears down all our blades. In the traditions of Western society, we tend to seek peace with our surroundings by forcing them to accommodate us, in which case we deem ourselves victorious, or by submitting to them, in which case we think we are defeated. Our perspective derives from perceiving an either or universe, a place of polar opposites. For instance, we see ourselves in good health until some breakdown occurs, and then we see ourselves as ill. In fact, health is a continuum of body functioning that runs from total well being at one end to total breakdown at the other. At all times, we are moving somewhere along this continuum. When we realize that health is not just a matter of being well or ill, we can perceive a variety of physical states, all of which are more or less healthy. So, hey, good morning. Thank you, Heather. Yes, you are relating to this. Thank you so much, Heather. Yeah, people are resonating to the talk this morning. Wonderful. Good morning. Christiane is back. My beautiful sister-in-law is back. Thank you for being here, Chris. Nice to see you. So, the point of my story, what I just read, is that your physical wellness, you being well or ill, your mental wellness, your emotional wellness or illness, is part of a continuum of life. It's part of a continuum of life. So you don't want to wait. So what I tell my clients when they come in and see me and they have a breakdown, either it can be a mental, emotional breakdown or a physical breakdown, right? An accident, something has occurred and now they are ill, they are in trouble. So they come in, of course, because they need some help. And of course, I help them. What I want to share about this is you don't want to wait until you're in trouble. This is the continuum of life. So some days you're going to feel depressed. Some days life is not going to go the way you want. Your husband, child, sibling, someone in your life, a friend, will make a decision that you don't agree with. You might be at odds with a parent. I know some of you live with your parents. Some of you are caregivers for your parents. And you're not always going to be in agreement with everyone in your life. And so this is the continuum of life. We have good days, we have bad days. Sometimes the hardship lasts for a longer period of time. This is why I want to integrate, I want to invite you to dig deeper into holistic wellness, to take small steps on a daily basis to open up your consciousness so that you might hear better what's going on for another person, no matter if you agree or not. This is what's happening in the world today. on the Gaza Strip, in Israel, in Palestine. This is what's happening again after so many years, since really 1948, but before that, when the war started, when conflict started. Nobody's listening. If you're not able to open your heart to listening, first and foremost to what's occurring for yourself, you're out of touch. And when we become out of touch with our own rhythms, this is where we get sick. Something goes off. We are hurt, we're angry, we're sad, we're grieving, because we're not in agreement with what someone else or your environment, something in your environment has done. You feel victimized on some level. You're angry because things are not working out the way you want them to. Holistic healing is a daily ritualistic practice that you start to integrate in your life piece by piece, listening to your heart, to your nervous system, identifying what is arising within you, tapping in, connecting with what is arising within you. Your entire fascial system, your connective tissue in your body, again, is your conduit of electricity that communicates through the nervous system, your peripheral nervous system, which is really the periphery of the body, closer into the skin. Central nervous system is your brain, and your fascial system is the electrical current that moves throughout your entire system. So if you don't develop daily rituals, daily practices that reset you in the moment, what starts to happen is that some of the conduits, some of the electrical impulses in your body get shut off. They get cut off. And how that looks in the body is that there is sometimes a lack of circulation. Physically, it manifests as a lack of circulation. Physically, it manifests as acid reflux, as gastrointestinal problems, migraines, headaches, toothaches, TMJ, joint pain, inflammation, arthritis, osteoarthritis, vision loss, hear loss. All of these can be, it's not just aging, it's not just happening to your body. We are a complex system of intercommunication systems: lymphatic, endocrine, respiratory, cardiovascular, fascial, musculoskeletal. All of these systems work together as a beautiful philharmonic orchestra. And if one of the musicians is off beat, it affects the entire system. The way to heal your musical instruments is to come into alignment and to develop a better listening capacity, to hear what is occurring within you, into your electrical conduits moving through your body, to pause, to listen, and to make better decisions for yourself. Better decisions look like improving the quality of your nutrition, eating more healthily, knowing when to stop doing a specific activity in your life, whether it's physical. Sometimes it has to do with these toxic relationships. Stopping being around toxic relationships. Allow yourself the privilege of moving out of environments that are negative for you. This is really important, and it's especially difficult if it's happening within your own family, if it's happening with your closer friends. Because remember, we are in this continuum of life, right? Everything is an ebb and flow. So sometimes we're going to get along great with our friends and family. Sometimes it's going to be great at work, and other times it's going to suck, and you're going to want to quit, and you're going to want to give up. And I'm here to tell you that if you have daily holistic practices integrated into your life, it will save your life. It will save your marriage. It will save your job. It will save your relationships, because you can always depend on you. You always have your system of communication. So first thing in the morning, when you're feeling blue, if you're feeling heavy, do something actually in action that will assist you in feeling better. For me, hot water with lemon. It detoxifies me. It helps me to process in my system, in my intestines. It helps me to feel better. Getting on my roller, getting on the floor, stretching, rolling on my balls just for a few minutes helps me to relieve myself from any type of nooks and cricks and all of these things that occur as we age. Naturally, it's going to happen. I put something in my mouth, I eat nutritious foods that help me to stay vital, energized. And it's not to say that we never go off path. For sure, I enjoy in pizza and beer on any given time. But for the most part, my life has become a daily ritual of holistic practices that feed my heart and my spirit and my soul, because there's too much negativity going on in the world and too much finger pointing. So the idea with connecting with your fascial system, your organ of communication with your body, is to develop a better listening mechanism. Listen to yourself. And if you can't figure out what to do, if you're alone, if you're afraid, if you're off center, first and foremost, you can communicate with me directly. I offer 30-minute complimentary calls, and you can just make an appointment. Reach out, whether it's me or whether it's someone in your environment. You have to reach out. You can't solve all of your issues by yourself. And let me tell you something else. The more secrets that you keep in your heart, usually secrets are correlated to the emotion of shame. We become ashamed of the situations we find ourselves in. We become ashamed of our relationships. We become ashamed of the type of work we do. We become ashamed of ourselves, and shame is a deep, deep emotion that can rock us to our core. And it's very difficult to move out of shame by ourselves. So you need to reach out. You need to accept your life as it is right now and reach out so that you don't feel by yourself, so that you don't feel like you're completely off balance and off center, because your fascial system, your conduit of energetic, electric connectivity inside of your body, is healable. You can heal yourself by these holistic daily practices that I'm sharing with you and that I share with you every Monday here. So the fact that you're here today, thank you. You're connecting, you're interacting, you're listening to me, you're responding to me. This is the first part of communication, to be able to be in a circle of creation, of trust, of safety, where you can communicate in this way, even though it's just little bits. So the idea of the continuum of your life, you're going to have ebb and flows, but don't wait to feel sick to take care of yourself. Don't wait until you have a problem, an intestinal problem, a digestive problem, or you have headaches, or something starts to appear in your body. Don't wait until you're sick to get better. Get better today by practicing integrating holistic practices. Hellerwork Structural Integration is one of those. Now, of course, you're not all in New York. If you were, we would all be working together. So that's one way to do it. But I want to share a few other things with you today that's really important. I talk about the foam roller all the time. On my YouTube channel, I have the 8-minute routine that I've done. I have the foam roller routine. I have another video that I did. Look on my YouTube channel, get curious, and start to practice movement. Move your body, stretch your body, talk to your body, be kind to your body. Number one, movement. The other thing I want to share with you is to take care of your microbiome, right? Your gut, your system, your microbiome in your body. You want to swish your mouth, inside of your mouth, every day with coconut oil. Use coconut oil to swish around. It's called oil pulling because you're actually pulling the oil, you're swishing it around in your mouth. And this helps to improve your gums. So for all of us that are getting older, we start to lose the elasticity and the amount, the density of your gums in your mouth. And by oil pulling, that's the proper term, you swish coconut oil. If you don't like coconut oil, they have some, and I'll put this in the notes on the Facebook group page. They have some with mint. So this is a very simple, holistic practice that you can develop on a daily basis. Swish your mouth with coconut oil. And this helps with your gums, with your teeth, with your tongue, with your breath. And it also helps to keep your microbiome healthy. Very simple tools. The other thing I'm going to share with you is, many of you know this. I don't know how many of you practice this, but you want to get a diffuser and you want to burn some lavender oil in your home. Very light, organic lavender oil. This is important because it calms down your nervous system. It helps to stimulate your vagal tone, your vagus nerve, which helps to regulate your organs. Remember, I talked about your orchestra of instruments. Lavender oil, smelling it throughout your environment, helps to calm down your nervous system, and it helps to relax and stimulate your vagus nerve. Very simple tools. So the lavender oil is for relaxation. Eucalyptus oil is something that you want to get used to breathing. You want to breathe. You can buy a little organic bottle of eucalyptus oil. And what you want to do is just smell it with one nostril and then the other. And then it clears up your nasal passages, but it also does a whole lot more for your nervous system. It's actually a detoxifier in the body. So you use eucalyptus oil. You can also use this in your diffuser, but you can literally just smell out of the eucalyptus if you have allergies. It's starting to get chilly in the Northeast. So people start to get little colds, runny noses. Inhale eucalyptus oil on a daily basis. Just have it at the ready. Just buy a small one. It's very inexpensive. And these are ways that holistic mechanisms start to fortify your systems. Very simple daily actions. So I've given you at least 3 today. You have the coconut oil, you swish around in your mouth. This will help to maintain healthy gums, teeth, and tongue. It will help with your microbiome, your gut. We have the lavender oil to help relax and calm down our nervous system. And finally, the eucalyptus oil that you can inhale on a daily basis. Eucalyptus oil also helps with your headaches and migraines. And if it's possible, if you don't have a Hellerwork practitioner in your life, if you don't live anywhere where someone offers Hellerwork or structural integration, either one, make sure that you go get some type of body work done, maybe once a month. Get a massage. Massage is good. It's not the same thing, and it's also very good. Get into the habit of being touched. Allow for healing touch to be part of your journey. If you have children, touch your children. If you have a husband or wife and you've stopped touching each other, go back to touching each other. You know, I posted something this week on Facebook about hugs, right? Getting some hugs. Like, we need about 8 to 10 hugs per day to regulate our system. How many of you get 8 to 10 hugs per day? Tell me, put it in the comment. How many of you get 8 to 10 hugs a day? I know I don't. I don't get 8 to 10 hugs a day. I wish I could, but I'm not getting 8 to 10 hugs a day right now. So I'm working on that, right? To regulate my nervous system. Communicate with your neighbors. Bring peace in your life. Stop pointing fingers. If you have a tendency to point the finger, please reconsider your options. Integrate more compassion in your body by taking care of yourself, by taking care of your fascial system, of your electrical conduit of communication in your body. Develop your ears. Listen with more compassion to your neighbors, your parents, your friends, your sisters, your lovers, your children, your grandchildren. Open up your heart of compassion. Cultivate this. This is a holistic practice, my friends. Sophia writes, I heard about oil pulling. It is to be done once a day in the morning. And for how long we keep it in the mouth? Someone told me it needs to be kept for 20 minutes. Is that so? This is a great question, Sophia. So 20 minutes is a long time to swish oil in the mouth. I usually do it for anywhere from maybe 4 to 5 minutes. I don't do it for 20 minutes. That would be too much for me. It's a lot of work to swish in the mouth. And I do it every day. I do it every morning. Sometimes I skip, if something happens, and I can skip a day or two, but for the most part. And it also helps to whiten your teeth. So that's why I love it also. But recently, when I went to my dentist, over the past couple of years, I've noticed that my gums started to recede. And that's what happens as we get older. Things change in the body. And so I've been looking for all these ways that can help us to maintain a healthy, alive body, especially when it comes to the mouth and your microbiome, right? You want to maintain really a healthy bacterial environment in your mouth. That's super important. It's also super important for breathway. So Sophia, I would say once a day for about 5 minutes. That's what I do. And it's been very helpful. And I've actually had my gums measured since the past 6 months. And actually they have become thicker and denser so that my teeth can stay connected, can stay in my head, right? That's a real problem over time. We start to lose our teeth. So I hope that answered your question, Sophia. All right, my friends. So thank you. Thank you for being here this morning. If you have any comments or any questions, please, you can leave them in the comments right here on my YouTube channel. If you write comments, it helps me. Even if you just write, thank you, this was a great class. If you write comments on my YouTube, it helps to activate the algorithm. And that helps me to reach more people on a global scale. If you know anyone who would benefit from these classes, please direct them to my YouTube channel and invite them to subscribe. Every time someone subscribes to my YouTube channel, it helps to activate the algorithms as well. And if you have any questions, if you'd like to connect with me one-on-one, don't forget I do offer still 30-minute complimentary sessions so that you get to ask me any question about mind-body alignment, maybe something we discussed today, or potentially working together. I do a lot of Zoom work for mind-body alignment coaching. So if you want some support, or if you're going through something in your life where you feel that you need a little boost, please feel free to contact me. This is why I do these lives. This is why I have the complimentary sessions. Thank you for being here. You are also welcome. And next week will be our final week talking about fascia for the month of October. And I'm specifically going to be talking about our fascial system and how to process trauma and emotion via your fascial system. And then in November, which is almost here, the topic for the month of November is energy. We're going to be talking about energy in your system, fascial system, nervous system. How do you increase the level of positive energy in your life? And I'm going to be sharing all kinds of tips and tricks to assist you in raising your level of energy so that you might feel better and just happy in your life, happier for no good reason at all, no matter what's going on in your environment. All right, my friends, thank you all for being here. I appreciate you. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. Enjoy, and I will see you next Monday, 11 a.m. on my YouTube channel. Bye for now.